Hi everyone, in continuation with our previous video on Alexander's Battle of Hydespes, this video is going to be about what happened after the Battle of Hydespes, what was Alexander's next plan, and at last how he died. So let's get started. According to the Greek maps, India was the last country at the end of the world. Alexander thought that the world ended a mere 1,000 km east to the modern day Punjab. So, after the victory of Hydespes, the next milestone for the Alexander was to conquer the eastern part of India so that he can declare himself the conqueror of the world. He therefore asked his army to march further in India, for which they have to cross the Ganga river, which was much wider and deeper than the Jhelum. But what were the reasons that stopped him to march forward? Alexander ignored the fact that for the Macedonians, their struggle with the king Porus blunted their courage. Also, he was not acknowledging that the fact his army is aware that the bank on the other side of Ganga was covered with the army of kings of Candarites, including the vast Nanda Empire. Nanda Empire was huge, and it had 2 lakhs infantry, 80,000 horsemen, 8,000 chariots and 6,000 elephants, which was much larger in number than compared to Porus. Hearing this, his exhausted army refused to march further and produced a plea of feeling homesick and requested Alexander to return back to their land. Some historians say that the other reason for him to not march further is that he considered himself a son of god Zeus, and he thought that his god is giving him sign to not march further. So he finally decided to return home. During their return, they conquered the fortified city of Multan. During a siege, Alexander with 2 of his bodyguard jumped into a fortified city and got bounded by their arrow. His forces thought that Alexander is dead, so they unleashed their fury over the Malli and started killing everyone, including women and children. However, due to efforts of his surgeon, Creto Demos, Alexander survived. But he did not hold his breath for much longer and died on 11 June 323 BC in Babylon, which is modern-day Iraq. Some historians say that after getting wounded in Multan siege, his health degraded and he finally died of malaria or some natural death. And others believe that he was poisoned by his own countrymen. So this was the end of the story of the great king. Hope you guys like it. Stay tuned for next video in the series.